What's going on, guys? Phantasm Mask here, and I haven't done a video like this in quite some time. Just a nice, casual, let's talk about some gaming news video, and this one I like to call Gaming News or Gamescom 2015 Vanquished, because we are playing, you guessed it, Vanquish on the PlayStation 3. Now, we've had a lot of news come out this week with Gamescom and even some stuff with Destiny that I want to cover. And there was, I think, QuakeCon had already happened, and just a giant influx of information before we get started into the holiday gaming season, which is always super, super busy. So, I have a list of articles here, mostly just headlines, but I've read a lot of these articles already, and just starting right out with Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is on a lot of people's lists of the most highly anticipated game of the year. It's definitely on my list of like, hey, I want to play this. I managed to secure my Pip-Boy edition. And the news article being, Fallout 4 will have no level cap and you'll be able to keep playing when the main story is over. Mostly the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because of the first part, that Fallout 4 will have no level cap, which to me sounds awesome. You can just keep on playing the game and playing it and not have to worry about, oh, I'm not going to get any more perks, or I can't add anything to my special stats anymore. And that was something that kind of bothered me with Fallout 3, not so much New Vegas, because all the expansions made you like super high level. I think the level cap may have been 50 or higher. I don't exactly recall what the level was for that, but it's nice to see that there won't be a level cap and you can just keep going. And as for the main story, you'll be able to keep playing when the main story is over. I don't really see how this is too much of a big deal. I know Bethesda didn't do New Vegas, Obsidian did, but I think they kind of remedied that problem with New Vegas and the fact that you could keep on playing post-game. And I don't know. I don't really see that being like too big of a deal. Oh, you can keep playing when the main story is over. I mean, most RPGs let you do that anyway. In 2015, that's not exactly something that you should be touting as a special feature. As going down the list here, apparently, and this was a strange article, Halo 5 is apparently twice the size of Halo 4's campaign. That's good. I mean, I'm intrigued to look at Halo 5. I played a multiplayer beta of it, and I really want to get my hands on the campaign for it. It looks really good. It makes me want to buy an Xbox One. Enough said about that. Now I want to talk about the giant Destiny Taken King info dump that's been happening over the past week. And that's the fact that, you know, let me back up for a second. I have put an insane amount of time into Destiny. I have played both expansions that have come out. I have characters that are pretty much, well, I have one that's definitely max level, and I have the other two which are pretty close to being max level. I play Destiny a lot with my friends. It's a game to me that my friends and I can get together and play on a regular basis. It's not so much a fun game to play by yourself, and I think a lot of people would agree with me when I say that. The Taken King to me sounds like it's going to fix a lot of the problems that I still have with the game. For instance, they're going to be completely ditching the light level system and just going, okay, the Taken King level cap is level 40, and you will level up to level 40, and that's what will get you max level. You earn experience to get to that level. This, to me, is amazing, because you are no longer at the mercy of a random number generator telling you, well, you might get a piece of gear that might allow you to get to 32. Because when I was playing base game for the longest time, I couldn't hit 30. Because the random number generator wouldn't give me the gear that I wanted, and at the time I didn't have enough friends that had played the game to do the raid, so I was stuck in a very awkward position of how am I supposed to reach max level in a video game that I want to continue playing, but can't. And to me, this fixes a lot of the problems with that. And I think that people who haven't played the game before, who are going to pick up this Legendary Edition or Game of the Year Edition, whatever they're calling it, will be a lot happier with their experience going through Destiny. Does it fix its broken-ass story? Absolutely not. But speaking of story, they are completely ditching Peter Dinklage in favor of Nolan North, and this to me is, again, another plus. I had no idea who Peter Dinklage was going into this game. I had to have somebody explain to me that he was a character on Game of Thrones. I had never heard of this actor before Destiny, and his performance in Destiny was incredibly lackluster. I felt that it was just somebody that they put in a booth and just said, read these lines as monotone as possible. And that's what we received with Peter Dinklage's acting. I can't really say how diverse his acting is in Game of Thrones, because I don't really enjoy watching Game of Thrones, but Nolan North has done a lot of work over the years. He's Nathan Drake, he's Penguin from the Arkham games, and I was joking with one of my friends that play Destiny, what if Nolan North just does the Penguin voice for the Ghost? And I think that'd be hilarious, but Nolan North is a trained professional, and I think that he'll bring a little bit of decency to the role of the Ghost, considering that, from my understanding and from what Game Informer has told us, he's just going to re-record the lines that were given to him, and it's not going to be too far off the track of what we had before, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what he brings to the role. Also, the whole thing a lot of people are up in arms about with Destiny is that your guns are going to pretty much become useless. Your guns and gear with the Taken King, because supposedly they're giving you all new weapons and gear, and you can't ascend the gear that you previously had into year 2. So a lot of people who have those hard-to-earn guns like Fatebringer or Hawkmoon are a little disappointed, myself included, that we can't carry those over into year 2 with an upgrade in firepower. But hey, I got my use out of the guns. I can't wait to see what they do, because if it's one thing that Destiny has done right, it is that the guns in that game and gunplay feel fantastic. It is an awesome playing game, just story needs a little bit of work, and there just needs to be a plot, period. But moving on, one thing that I saw that was put into Gamescom that was on the news list was Doom. The new Doom game coming out in 2016, which I'm super excited about. One of my favorite trailers from E3. I was super happy to see on the list of gamer news on our gamer news, it was the Doom 2016 Gamescom trailer. Thinking that it would be a different trailer, it is the same exact trailer that was shown at E3. A little disappointed in that, but supposedly at QuakeCon and Gamescom, I believe, people got their hands on some of the multiplayer for Doom, and I've heard nothing but good things about that, which is great, because with my copy of Wolfenstein: The New Order, I got access to a multiplayer beta, the Doom beta, and I'm going to be one of the first ones in line to play that game, and hopefully I can record some of it and put it up here on the channel. It'll be awesome. As for other news, Star Wars Battlefront, another game that I have been watching like a hawk, knowing EA and DICE track record over the past few years. Throughout what looks like similar to air superiority mode for Battlefront, which is just X-Wings versus TIE Fighters, and there are even going to be hero ships included. It showed the Millennium Falcon and Slave 1 in the trailer. This, to me, is what I've always wanted air superiority in the Battlefield games to look like, and I think that Battlefront is going to hit the nail on the head with this one. I have high hopes for Battlefront. I am very wary to pick it up day one. I may wait a few days after launch to read what kind of issues people may be having with it, but it is a game that I definitely want to play because I loved the original Star Wars Battlefront games, and unfortunately when I played those games, I didn't have an internet connection, so I was constantly playing with bots, and I want to be able to have a Battlefront-like experience online with other people in 2015. So we'll see how this goes. I think EA can't really afford to screw this up because I'm sure that Disney is over their shoulders going, look, we gave you a 10-year contract, and if you screw this up, we'll pull it, and that means you're losing a lot of money. So I can't imagine Battlefront being that bad of a game, but again, this is an EA DICE joint. We need to make sure that the game works before we throw it out there. So it'll be exciting to see how Battlefront performs at launch. Now, September 1st is quickly approaching, and there are 2 games coming out on September 1st. One of them being Mad Max. And even though I haven't seen much for Mad Max, I have high hopes for that game because I really enjoyed the movie that came out this past summer, and I want to apologize if you can hear that in the background, but it just started pouring down rain in the middle of a thunderstorm, so completely taken off track. But the Mad Max game looks okay. I'm interested to see where that goes, mainly because of Fury Road. I just felt like mentioning that because for some reason on the same day that Mad Max comes out, there's a little game you might have heard of called Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Again, a game that I'm highly anticipating this year. They threw out a Gamescom trailer and a nice little Mother Base demo that you can watch on YouTube. Now, the trailer that they had given you, I feel, does the game an incredible disservice with the fact that this trailer makes Metal Gear Solid 5 look like generic McAction game starring Buff McMahon-Cheese with an eye patch. You can clearly tell that Kojima did not direct this trailer. It's incredibly distracting, and I'm sure you've probably heard about the situation over there at Konami, and while unfortunate, I don't really want to go into that right now. The Mother Base demo basically looks like a glorified version of what we saw in Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. And that's not a bad thing. I really like the base infiltration gameplay that they had. I'm going to have a lot of fun with my friends who pick up this game because I'm going to be infiltrating the hell out of their bases, and they are going to hate me because I'm pretty good at Metal Gear games. And some of my friends who have told me that they're going to be picking this up have never played a Metal Gear game before. So I'll be able to reap the benefits for a little while until they eventually learn how to play the game super effectively and start raiding my bases. It makes for an exciting mechanic. I can't wait to see what all people are going to come up with this, the insane gameplay videos for base infiltration, and not to mention all the stuff that we saw at E3 with the various ways that you're able to execute the free roam missions and the giant open world of Afghanistan and what we just know to be Africa at this point. I'm sure there's going to be more open areas. I know some people have expressed concern on that, but I have a feeling that those aren't going to be the only 2 open areas we have in the Phantom Pain. They'll probably throw a third one in there as a surprise. Needless to say, it's the swan song for the Metal Gear series, and Hideo Kojima in charge of that series, and with Konami pretty much being torn asunder, this will be a fitting end, in my opinion, for the Metal Gear franchise. So, Scalebound, Xbox One, Microsoft really hitting it home with that kind of stuff at Gamescom. Scalebound caught my interest because Platinum Games, you know, some of the original Devil May Cry guys are over there. And this game just looks really weird. It's like Monster Hunter and Devil May Cry put together in terms of aesthetics. I'm going to be paying a little bit more attention to that game because it interests me. And again, gives me another reason to want to buy an Xbox One. I know that there was a trailer that was thrown out for Quantum Break, a gameplay trailer, and I haven't had the chance to watch that, but the initial trailer with the whole like time bomb kind of thing and time travel and people being able to slow down time seems really interesting. It seems like an interesting sci-fi plot, and I want to see more of that game. There was also some stuff thrown out there for Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which basically, who cares? Assassin's Creed has been dead in my mind since Assassin's Creed 3. Dragon Age Inquisition DLC trailers, nice gameplay video of Dark Souls 3, if that's what you're into. Apparently, they decided to announce a new Mafia game, which I have never played any of those. Every time I think of the Mafia games, I think of the Godfather games that came out in like the PS2 era. Not exactly sure what to think about that. Also, I guess Homefront is still a thing. Homefront: The Revolution had a nice trailer getting thrown out there. I can't believe that they're making a sequel to that game and that the sequel still exists, considering the backstory behind that game with Crytek. And first it was THQ that went under, and then Crytek was starting to have some problems, and I think they may have had to sell it off, and I don't know who has it now. I don't know if it's Deep Silver. It's just this game has changed so many hands, and that's kind of worrisome if you're really into the Homefront franchise, which isn't really much of a franchise at this point, considering it's only had one game. Crackdown 3, real quick. I liked the first Crackdown game. It was the first game I ever played on the Xbox 360. And to see a Crackdown 3 has me excited. Again, another reason why I should buy an Xbox One, which I'm hoping to do sometime in the future. Crackdown 3 looks amazing. The multiplayer with the destruction engine seems really cool, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. I'm sure there will be more trailers coming out in the near future. For those of you who are on the PC, StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void's confirmed for a 2015 release, and we had some new info on Rainbow Six Siege, which looks like a cool game. Definitely want to pick that up. Street Fighter V had Vega unveiled, and Battlefield Hardline announced a robbery expansion. Well, that's a giant chunk of news. I'm sure there's a lot more out there, like I'm seeing stuff for Rise of the Tomb Raider, which, take that as you will. Again, another reason to get an Xbox One due to exclusivity. I think that 2015 and 2016 are going to be really good years for games. We've got the rest of this year, the holiday season, looking very promising with things like the Phantom Pain and Fallout 4, Rainbow Six Siege, and with 2016 getting stuff like Street Fighter V, and we also have Halo 5 this year. I think that this year is going to be really good. I know this video is super long, and I've been going on forever. Believe it or not, I'm doing all of this in one take. I haven't taken a single drink breaks or anything like that doing this. So, what do you guys think about the layout that we have for the rest of 2015 and 2016? Is there anything that has caught your eye? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching. Phantasm Mask here, signing out.